Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Factorio Tutorials. I am your host Alex, and as always you're watching FCOD Gaming. Now in this episode I'm going to be covering at least the basics of setting up a logistics network, which first things first, I have off screen I've kind of set up the means to make at least flying robot frames, which you're going to need flying robots for your logistics network. And while I'm explaining that, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple roboports. With these, you're going to need 45 steel, 45 iron gear wheels, and 45 advanced circuits. Luckily, I have at least most of those materials already in my inventory, just from running around and picking them up from various factories. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of those. I'm not sure if 2 is going to be quite enough, but yeah, so I have set up here a very sloppily placed engine factory, and engine units take 2 pipes, 1 steel plate, and 1 iron gear wheel. And as you can see, I'm kind of stealing from the steel plate smelting area here that I've been using for my own personal iron plates, stealing from this pipe factory and from this gear line. Not ideal, but yeah, it's pretty much, it works. So I'm going to go ahead and place down a passive provider chest in place of this iron chest here. And what that's going to do is, this is going to make anything that's in this chest available to the logistics network, assuming that you have coverage on it. Which right now I just have this filtered to 1 stack, which I believe is 50 units. So yeah, I've got these roboports set up here. And eventually I'm going to make this big open area my main kind of hub for everything that involves the logistics network, so we will start there. And kind of hook that up to power. And now as you hover over either the roboport or any logistics network chests, you can see whether or not you're in the network. The orange area is something that can be picked up by and used by the logistics network. The green area is anywhere that your construction robots can get to, which I'll get into construction robots here in a little bit. But yeah, so as you can see, that box full of engine units is actually covered by the logistics network right now. And as I go to the north side of the factory, this is where I have my flying robot frame factory set up. Now, if I go out here, you can see it's a little bit out of the network's range that I have right now, but if I place somewhere, if I place another roboport, that yellow dotted line means that both of those roboports are in the same network, and anything in that yellow area can be reached. So if I go ahead and do place down a requester chest next to the electric engine factory, and let's keep, let's say, 10 engine units in there. Now once I get robots into this network, they will move those electric engine units to this box until there's 10 in that box. So I guess the next step is to make logistics robots. And just so that you know, those electric engine units do have to be set up with lubricant. They take 2 electric circuits, 1 engine unit, and 2 lubricants. And so far I've just been manually moving things over just because I know that I was going to be setting up a logistics network. And the flying robot frame takes 1 steel, 3 electric circuits, 1 electric engine unit, and 2 batteries. So with that, it's probably going to be a good idea to set up another requester chest for the extra stuff, but that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves right now. So let's go ahead and pick up these flying robot frames that are made. Only 7 have been made so far, but that's enough to get us started anyway. We'll just go ahead and make 7 logistics bots right off the bat. And as I release those into the world by hitting right-click, the ones that are needed, if we follow them down here, are going to go down to this provider chest, pick up those engine units, and then bring them back up. Getting ahead of the robots here. We're going to bring these back up to this requester chest. And that's going to keep that electric engine factory happy and going and all that good stuff. So what else does that need? That needs electric circuits. So let's go ahead and request a few of those. I don't have electric circuits in the network right now. But, yeah, and I think the only box that I have set up for them is way over here. Yeah, so let's see if I can set up another box for them. Do I have enough coverage? I do not have enough coverage down there. So for right now, I'm just going to keep manually moving those over until I get more into the logistics network, but that's fine. So those are the basics. Really, that's all you need is a few requester chests, provider chests, and logistics robots, which, yeah, it's fairly simple stuff. So I'm going to switch these over to provider chests. And we will also put down a requester chest here and have it request some steel plates, electronic circuits, and batteries. So let's go with 20 plates, that sounds good. 20 circuits. Let's go with 20 batteries as well. Alright, so that's the basics there of your logistics network. Now, another thing that you are going to want to do is automate this as much as possible, obviously. So one easy way while you're setting up everything is to sit down, and of course that's out my network. Sit down a provider chest for your copper and for your iron. I think I'm going to make one more roboport while I'm talking about this. But basically setting that up will supply your network with basic things that it needs to make other things. And also if you hit E and you go into the logistics tab here, you can make sure that you always have a certain amount of materials on yourself so that you don't have to keep going and picking up everything else. So right now it's not going to actually give me anything because I have more than what I'm requesting. But let's say I were to dump all of my copper in there. Eventually, some logistics robots are going to show up. There they are. And start giving me 200 plates of copper. Now there's only 7 logistics robots, so it might take a little bit of time to get this set up. Actually, not too bad. But it does. They do their thing and happily fly off. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up to the south and east here. Let's go ahead and put it right there and get that powered up. It still doesn't cover quite where I want it to go, which is over here where the oil production is. But I can go ahead and get a passive provider chest set up for my iron, which I don't want to go off that line because that line uses up enough iron as is. So let's go ahead and get it set up off of this line. Eventually what I like to do is set up my own smelting operation just dedicated to the logistics network. But to get you started, this is more than enough to get you off the ground. So let's see here. Where are we at? We're at about 11 minutes. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of the more advanced stuff that you can do. Let's see. One flying robot frame. That means I'm out of materials somewhere. Some electronic circuits. Let's go ahead and grab some of those out of the box so that we can keep making robots here. It's the only thing that really kind of is annoying from doing this is that the robots themselves you can't craft unless you're in a factory, which kind of sucks, but yeah, it works out. So let's go ahead and place 100 circuits in there. We'll put the other 100 in there. And that should keep us going for a little bit. And meanwhile, excuse me, we can go ahead and at least make one construction robot so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. And he doesn't have anything to do, so he's going to go back to his home there. So one of the big advantages of setting up a logistics network is the fact that you don't have to run belts, basically. And as we all know, belts can definitely lead to problems. Once you get construction bots into the mix, you can start messing with blueprints and deconstruction planners, which I'm going to go ahead and make a blueprint right now. All it takes is an advanced circuit, which I have a few in reserve here. And yeah, they will basically have those logistics bots build everything for you, which is rather nice. So I'm going to start my automation center down in this corner. And there are probably 5 million different ways to set this stuff up, but this is the system that works best for me. So basically, I have 2 factories there. I'm going to have a requester chest and a provider chest. And from the requester chest, I'm going to have fast inserters. And from the provider chest, or to the provider chest, I'm going to have smart inserters. And let's go ahead and make this one of our blueprints. So to use a blueprint, you take a blank blueprint, drag it over what you want to save. They'll give you a preview of it here, and you click this to create it. And now you can drop it down as many times as you want. Unfortunately, right now I don't have everything that I need in the network to supply that. So I'm just going to act like I do. So it's going to be 2 factories, 2 smart inserters, 2 fast inserters, one of those, and one of those. And now, this is much faster when you have more than one construction robot, but these construction robots will go through, collect anything that's in the network, and put it down where the blueprint tells it to. This is also very useful when you have aggression on, because they'll actually run around and repair everything that's getting destroyed by biters and spitters. And if it gets completely destroyed, if you have it in your logistics network, they will actually replace it for you, which is very nice. Keeps you from having to run around repair packs and all of that good stuff. So for this, I'm going to automate everything that I just placed down. And the reason I do that is because the building blocks for factories, inserters, stuff like that, is all pretty much, you can make almost anything else in the game out of that stuff. So it's kind of beneficial to go that route. So if you look at the recipe for assembling machines, for example, it takes iron plates, iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits. So let's start with electronic circuits here. So I'm going to set up one factory to do copper cable, and I'm going to set up the other factory to do electronic circuit. Now if you go to the requester chest, the copper cable is obviously going to take copper. So let's go ahead and request 100 units of that. This factory is going to be really busy making that copper cable. And if we go down to the smart inserter, it has this logistics network condition box down here. And how you use that, if you click on the square, we can say if copper cable in the entire network is less than, let's say, 200, that inserter is going to work. Now, as soon as that condition is met, that inserter shuts down, that factory shuts down, and we stop using copper. At least for this factory, which is, rather nice. So, basically keeps you from overproducing certain things in your network. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the requester chest and set up for the electronic circuits, which of course take copper cable. Let's go ahead and get 50 of those, and iron plates, which, let's go with 50 of those as well, because I believe it's it's 1 to 3. So let's go ahead and do 100 copper cables. That'll take a while to catch up, mostly because I only have 7 logistics spots, but it'll keep pumping resources into those factories, and eventually it'll catch up and everything will stop. We'll just kind of let that work right now. Let's see what we have for flying robot frames. These have been cooking for a little while. Looks like everything is working rather nicely. Once we do start getting electronic circuits, they'll actually start going into these boxes so that they can be used by the factories, which is nice. But yeah, we have 6 more, so let's go ahead, 7 more actually. So let's go ahead and make a couple more construction robots, and we'll make the rest be logistic spots here. We'll check down here. Oh, I forgot to set the limit for the circuits here. So let's say not advanced circuits, electric circuits less than 200. Now that's going to keep going. If you noticed, that copper cable factory actually did shut down once it reached 200 into the box. So that's good. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. And these circuits are getting picked up. They're going up to the flying robot frame factory, which is cool. So what else do we need? We need iron gear wheels, which that's simple enough to set up. So let's go ahead and get some materials for that. We'll go ahead and keep let's say 100 on hand. And let's see here. Should be all we need for the assembling machines, which is pretty nice. I think I'm going to set this one to make medium electric poles. So let's go ahead and get copper and iron there. You just keep a handful of these on hand. Sounds good. And of course I don't have any steel in my network, so let's go ahead and set that up really quick. Put it right next to our copper. And just pull it off the same line. We only need one stack of those for right now. So early on, it does take quite a bit to keep the factories up to date. As you can see, if you hover over anything in the logistics network, you can see the available robot count. We only have 12 robots, and they're all tasked with something. Once they get kind of caught up, that number will only have the robots that are free and chilling out in the robot factories. But for right now, everybody's doing something, so which is good, but it does mean that that we're kind of running behind. So we'll keep making some logistics robots. Let's get some more frames there. Get those guys going, doing stuff. And it looks like they're starting to catch up. So we're coming up on, well, we're a little bit past 20 minutes on this episode. I'm going to go ahead and put a cut here. I'm going to set up some stuff off camera. And in the next episode, we'll kind of show, not really the finished product, but at least a little bit more advanced product of what I've been talking about. And I know I covered a lot of things in this episode, so as always, feel free to leave a comment, ask any questions that you have, and yeah, I will attempt to get back to you as well as I can. So until next time, I'm Alex from FCOG Gaming, and as always, don't forget to take care of yourselves out there, and thanks for watching. Oh, wow. I might need help. Oh.
Alright.
There's like... Oh god, I'm out of ammo. Oh, that's not
I'm
good.
coming. Can you head to me? Oh god, I'm running as fast as I can.
I think I got them.
Alright.
They're all small fighters, but there were like
a lot of them.
20 of them. Yeah.
Damn. Do you have armor?
No.